Hello and welcome to the United Community Channel. My name is Jack and this is your latest Manchester United news, as Manchester United released a statement that Antony will return to the squad and he will be available for selection. Now look, this is on the back of Antony returning to the UK to face police investigation. Obviously, we know what happened. It was due to domestic abuse allegations and physical abuse allegations, all of that kind of stuff. But Manchester United have released a statement in the past few minutes stating that he will return to training with the first team squad. He will be available for selection as well. I'll run down through the actual statement here and we'll see what it says. Manchester United say that since allegations were first made in June, Antony has cooperated with police inquiries in both Brazil and the UK as he continues to do so. As Antony's employer, Manchester United has decided that he will resume training at Carrington and be available for selection while police inquiries proceed. This will be kept under review pending further developments in the case. As a club, we condemn acts of violence and abuse. We recognise the importance of safeguarding all those involved in this situation and acknowledge the impact these allegations have on survivors of abuse. So look, really interesting stuff coming out from Manchester United. And look, this is coming off of the back of Antony, of course, returning to, the UK to face questioning from the UK police. We've seen him being questioned in Brazil as well. He done a TV interview over there as well, and he's pleaded his innocence basically from word go. And again, look, there's a lot of people, putting some similarities here to the Mason Greenwood, and there are maybe some similarities you would have to say, but I think in general, I think it's quite different to the Mason Greenwood case. And the main reason I would say that is with this one, we've got allegations. With Mason Greenwood, pretty much straight away, it was pretty clear, there was audio and video in the public domain for people to see and hear. And I think that's the main difference here. There's been three, I suppose, women that have come forward with allegations against Antony in the past, couple of months. One of them has already dropped her case and her allegations against him. And he look, in fairness, this is, all just looking in from the outside. He seems to have been very, I suppose, forthcoming with the police and open to, anything that's been requested from him. He's voluntarily handed over his phone, so on and so forth. And look, obviously Manchester United, I suppose, I won't say they didn't suspend Antony, but they gave him, some leave with full pay to stay away for a little while. And it was on the back of the Brazil national team doing the same. Obviously, he was on international break when these allegations kind of peaked, and Brazil decided that it was best for him to leave the squad and, until, I suppose, these allegations, I suppose, were put to bed more than anything else. And Manchester United kind of followed suit on it. And I think it was the right thing to do, given what the club has learned from the Mason Greenwood situation. I think it was the right thing to do. But, I mean, people are going to have different opinions now in relation to him coming back and being available for selection. But again, I go back to what we've said. These are allegations only at the moment. And they're quite different to what we've seen with Mason Greenwood. Oshin says, morning, since it's still under review, should they leave him out for the foreseeable? Let him get his head right. He is going to be a target now for serious abuse. Well, look, that's a good point there as well, because, what is his mind frame going to be? Where's his head? What's his concentration levels going to be? Is he going to be back in the game? Is he going to be fully concentrating? Is he going to be up to actually going out and playing games for Manchester United? And that remains to be seen. It really does, because if he isn't, then I think, leaving him out would be the best thing. But he's available for selection and he's available to train. Doesn't really mean that he is going to be selected. I think it all depends on, obviously Antony will know more than what's in the public domain, and maybe Manchester United know more as well, about how the investigation went yesterday. Reports have suggested he was being interviewed for up to 5 hours. So he's probably going to have some kind of feeling on how it went, and he obviously knows himself whether he's innocent or guilty. So that, I think, will come into effect and play a big role in whether he'll actually be up to playing for Manchester United or not. But I mean, yeah, like, it's going to be interesting to see. Now, there are reports coming out from different outlets. The Manchester Evening News say that the club issued a statement, so on and so forth. United believe it is appropriate that Antony is available for selection as he has not been arrested, detained or charged. However, he will not be available for tomorrow's clash with Crystal Palace at Old Trafford. So, look, he's not going to be available tomorrow. He will be, you would expect, available for selection. You would think for the Champions League game on Tuesday night. So, look, I mean, everybody's going to have their opinion on this, but I'm not overly concerned that he's been brought back. Again, there has to be some form of protection for people who are being accused of things like this, because I suppose in the world we live in and in the society that we live in, you're innocent until you're proven guilty. So, I think that statements come out like this, you can't instantly throw a person's career and livelihood down the drain on allegations alone. Now, of course, we do know that Mason Greenwood's situation was completely different because, people heard and saw what happened pretty much straight away as soon as it broke. Whereas with Antony, it's allegations. He's pleading his innocence. He hasn't been arrested. He hasn't been charged. So I think it's probably the right decision that he is available for selection. But more importantly, that he is probably allowed to train with the squad more than anything else. And I think that's only right. Again, it doesn't mean he is going to be selected. I suppose Erik ten Hag will, monitor him quite closely and see, is his head in the right space? Is he going to be available for selection? And if so, then I think he will, absolutely he will select him. Because, again, we've got an issue on that right-hand side, haven't we, in terms of availability. Now, look, people will say, Manchester United condemn acts of violence and abuse until you have a shortage of players on the right-hand side, and people are well within their rights to say that. But again, I go back to what I've said. He's not been charged with anything. He's not been arrested. He's not been detained. He's simply been questioned on allegations. So I think it's probably the right choice out of Manchester United in terms of, I would say, probably from a legal standpoint as well. Now, I know Antony did agree with Manchester United to take an extended leave of absence because of this, because of a distraction that it is going to be on the club. Does that bring the distraction right back into the forefront for Manchester United? I think it could. I think it certainly could. And I think it probably will, because you're going to have the likes of TalkSport jumping all over this. You're going to have opposition fans now. And look, it's not like Manchester United, isn't it not? I mean, we can't go a day without a story coming out, that isn't about football at Manchester United. But it's going to be interesting. Owen says, do you think he's guilty or innocent based on the evidence? Well, I mean, look, we've heard allegations. That's all we've heard. We're not as I suppose privy to this information as obviously the police in Manchester United are. So I think it would be very remiss of me to actually say he's innocent or guilty. I don't think anybody should say that, because if you say he's innocent, then you're degrading maybe what the accuser is saying, and if you're saying he's guilty, you're degrading what the accused is saying, and only one is right, and the other is wrong, and we don't know that at the moment. So it's going to be a distraction to Manchester United, but I think we can't be too quick to jump on the bandwagon for either side here. We have to allow due process. We have to allow the police and eventually maybe the courts to do their due diligence and get to the bottom of it. But I mean, he's back. He's available for selection. He's available to train at Manchester United, and yeah. That's where we stand at the moment. And I'm sure we'll know more in the coming days and weeks as it goes on. But again, let me know in the comment section below, guys. Do you think this is going to be a big distraction for Manchester United, or do you think it's the right thing that they've done, or do you think, potentially he should have remained you know, out of the public eye and away from Manchester United. Just said we jump on and do a quick live on it. Please smash a like on the video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. We'll be back tonight at 9 o'clock to talk all things Manchester United. We'll get into this in more depth. Thanks for watching, and I'll chat to you soon. Take care.